This is the Barricade modular front bumper, and it's available for all 2019 to 2023 Ford Rangers. Now, you should be checking out the Barricade for your Ranger if you'd like to go with an affordable off-road inspired bumper that will deliver a better approach angle, a burly steel construction, and plenty of spots for auxiliary lighting, all for right around that mid to high $600 price point. All right, let's talk features here with the Barricade modular bumper, and there is a lot to talk about, but before we actually get into the functionality aspect, let's talk about the appearance. I think it's a huge upgrade over the factory bumper. Just delivers more of an aggressive or off-road look for a lot of Ranger owners out there. Now, functionality-wise, there is a ton to talk about. Let's first start off with these angled ends because that is gonna greatly improve your approach angle off-road. So if you do take your Ranger off-road, maybe some light fire trails, some crawling, whatever the case, you will definitely, again, appreciate the added approach angle you are getting with the bumper here, in addition to more space for a bigger tire for articulation or turning radius. Now, in addition to that, you are also getting a very robust build. We'll talk more about this in our construction block up next, but again, this is gonna be a plate steel design here, a lot of protection, in addition to that two-stage epoxy powder coat that will keep that steel looking good for many years to come. Finally, guys, lighting. A lot of lighting options going on with the Barricade, including the twin LED bars here on both ends. Those are pre-installed, ready to go for you, in addition to having the power and ground pigtail ready to go as well. You can wire that in with the included harness or get custom, totally up to you. Continuing on with the lighting, you can notice this massive space here right in the middle. That'll fit a 30-inch light bar, an LED bar of your choosing, or if you wanted, you could get some individual cube lights in there. Whatever the case, you have plenty of real estate for the Barricade and auxiliary lighting to really help crank up the light at night. All right, moving into construction and the Barricade bumper, as we mentioned earlier, guys, very burly build consisting of that heavy duty cold formed 5/32 plate steel build that will really be up to handle some abuse both on and off road. Now, we also mentioned earlier that you are getting that two-stage epoxy powder coat to keep things looking good. It's got a nice little texture to it here. And again, I think it does add to the ruggedness of the bumper itself. Now, the bumper does also include everything needed for the install, along with all of your brackets, hardware, all that good stuff. It is also pre-drilled, by the way, for parking sensors if your truck is equipped, so definitely keep that in mind. And again, you are getting wiring for the lighting included, which should make the install a little bit easier. All right, moving into price point, guys, the Barricade modular option is gonna land around that mid to high $600 ballpark, give or take, which does make this pretty affordable in the land of off-road bumpers, especially once you start comparing this to other options from companies like Addictive Desert Designs, Deviate, Fab Fours, and others, which can easily cost hundreds, if not thousands more. All right, last but not least, let's talk install, and the site's gonna call this a strong 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you a couple of hours or so to knock out from start to finish. But now to give you a better idea of how this one might go down in the garage or driveway at home, let's throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
For this install, you'll need an impact, a ratchet, a 21, a 16, a 15, a 10, and an 8mm socket, a socket extension, 17 and a 21mm wrench, various plastic clip removal tools, and any kind of tape.
Today we're going to be installing a bumper on our Ranger. Let's get into it. First, we're going to take off the tow hook covers. So you just put your hand under here like this, pull it out just like that. Do the same step on the other side. After that, you're going to get a plastic trim removal tool, and we're going to pry off this center black piece. After that, we're going to remove this plastic trim piece in the front. So to do this, we're going to need a 10mm socket, a ratchet, and a plastic trim removal tool. Next, we're going to remove these clips under here. Now we can lift this plastic piece off the truck like this, and you'll notice that we can't take it all the way off yet. Reason being, we have to unplug a harness behind this black plastic piece. Now we're going to take a 21mm socket and an impact and remove these 3 nuts right here. And do the same process on the other side. Next, we're going to remove a bolt with an 8mm socket and a ratchet. Once you have this one removed, do the same process on the other side. Next, we're going to take a 15mm socket and a ratchet, and we're going to remove the 4 skid plate bolts. Make sure with this last one that you're supporting it with one hand, because once you loosen this bolt, it is going to come falling down. Now we can remove the bumper, but one thing I would like to mention before we pull this off, there is still a harness that is connected. So we want to make sure that we disconnect the harnesses as we're pulling the bumper off. Here's the main one right there. Next, we're going to take out our sensors from this middle plastic piece as well as the bumper. So to do this, there are these 2 tabs. Just push them apart like that, and then the sensor will come right out. Now it's time to remove the wiring harness from the bumper. So to do this, we're going to go around with a trim clip removal tool. We're also going to unclip our fog lights and pull out our sensors. So for starters, we're going to make our way through here and then go up and around. Then you want to complete the same process on the other side. Now once you have this side disassembled, do the same thing on the other side. With our harness disconnected, we can fish it all out and put aside the old bumper. Now we're going to assemble our aftermarket bumper. So you'll notice in the box it comes like this. So you just want to fold it out on both sides like that. Now that we have it like that, we're going to take 2 bolts that come with the kit. There's a total of 4 because there's going to be 2 on each side. You're going to put a lock washer and a flat washer in this orientation, and we're going to screw it into these holes right here. Now to do this, we're going to be using a 16mm socket and an impact. After that, we're going to take a 17mm wrench, a 16mm socket, a socket extension, and an impact. We're going to tighten down these 2 bolts right here. Now that you've completed tightening down this side, do the same thing on the other. After that, we're going to install our grill portion. Now, you don't have to install these. It's just that this bumper does not come with off-road lighting. So if you do have off-road lighting, you don't need to mount these, but if you don't, then you will need to. So we're going to slot them into place, just like this. And to tighten these down, we're going to be using the supplied Allen key, a 10mm socket, and a ratchet. After you've tightened down these 3, you can complete the same process with the other brackets. After that, we're going to put our sensors in. So to do that, we want to prepare them, and we're going to pull off of these silicone coverings. Then supplied with the kit, you're going to see these little foam circles. You want to place them over the sensors just like this. Now that we have these prepped, we want to clip them in to the bumper. So, just going to place it in just like this. Here, click. And then supplied with the kit are these caps you want to put over just like that. Then once these are put in and the cap's on, you're going to slide this little foam piece into the back of it. Now that we have this one installed, you can repeat the same process on the other 3 sensors. Next, we are going to route our wiring harness. So for this side, we're going to route it through a little hole. That. We want to clip it into our sensor. And since we're not using our fog lights, we want to tape this piece right here. Any tape will work, duct tape, gaffer tape, whatever you have, as long as it's going to keep this up here and survive the elements, it really does not matter. Before we plug our sensors in, we want to slightly modify the harness a little bit. So to do that, we have to untape this part of the harness. And you may need to get scissors to cut down this a little bit if you can't find the seam like I can. So we're gonna get some scissors to cut the rest of this off. Now I do want to mention, be careful when you're cutting this, you do not want to cut these wires. Now, once we have them separated like this, you're going to wrap the exposed wire with electrical tape. And the reason why we have to separate it like this is so that this connector reaches this side and this connector reaches the other side. Now we're going to start plugging in our connectors. So first we're going to plug in this sensor connector. Then this connector. And we're going to take the rest of our harness, go through here, and then plug in our last sensor. Now we're going to go back in and tape up everything. So use the same tape you used for the other side. We're going to tape the rest of this stuff in. After that, we're going to route the harness for the little light strips in the bumper. So to do this, we're just going to drop it through here. If you look over here, you're going to see light because we took the bumper off. It's not complicated at all. Just want to pull it through like that. And then do the same process on the other side. After that, we're going to route our wire from one side to the other. You can just tuck it up in here, just like that. Now for this next part, there's lots of different ways that you can route this part of the harness to the cabin. I'm going to show you the simplest way. And first off, we want to tuck our wire right in here, just like that. Then you're going to take this end of the cable and we're going to put it through this side of the fender. And then we're going to go to the other side and pull the rest of the wire through. So once we've seen that our wire is poking out, we just want to pull it the rest of the way through, just like this. And next we want to grab some tape and we're going to align it up with the door just like this after we've made sure that we had our slack. Like this. I want to make sure we go around that bolt. Just like that. Then we want to pull this piece down, just like that. We can just tuck this under here, just like that. Then we're going to connect our button to the rest of the harness and stick it onto the truck. So we're just going to pull back the backing like that. You can place this anywhere you want, but here we're just going to place it just like that. Then we're going to connect it to our harness, and you want to tuck your wires up right in here, just like that. Then we're going to take a 10mm socket and a ratchet, and loosen this nut right here and this nut right here to connect our wires to the harness. Now it's time to put the bumper on the truck. So you want to line it up with the factory bolts, and we're also going to be using the factory nuts for this. So you're not going to be able to see this on camera, but we're going to put our 3 nuts onto these studs, and essentially the same way you took the bumper off is going to be the same way you put it on. Well, you're putting a new one on instead of the old one,
So it's not complicated. There's a little cutout in here so that you can tighten down your nuts, and it's not hard. So we're going to be using a 21 millimeter ratcheting wrench for this. And once you've tightened down these, complete the same process on the other side. Now we're going to clip our remaining harness connections together and zip tie them out of the way. Now we're going to put our skid plate back on. So for starters, we're going to start our bolts back here by hand. Then we can slide on our skid plate to those bolts and screw in the front ones. And to tighten these down, we're going to be using a 15 millimeter socket and a ratchet. Alrighty, that about wraps up this review and install of the Barricade HD modular front bumper for a 2019 to 2023 Ranger. Thank you for watching, and remember, for everything Ranger, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.